Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make Edikang Ikong with seafood. In case you have never tried it, this recipe is very delicious and an excellent choice for a pescatarian. So I'm just going to be using assorted fish instead of assorted meat. One important thing about cooking this soup is to prep all the ingredients before you start adding everything together, because the soup cooks in no time. So I'm going to start with the stock fish because it has the longest cooking time. Normally most people just cook the stock fish straight up. You can do that, but because I have time on my hand, I'm just going to rinse the stock fish and soak it in water for a couple of hours before I cook it. This is going to help reduce the cooking time and also soften the stock fish. This is also going to save your kerosene, gas or energy, and also reduce the length of time that your neighbors have to perceive it, especially if they are not familiar with it. So I'm ready to cook the soup, and the stockfish has been soaking for 5 hours. Like I said earlier, you don't have to soak it before you cook it. You can just cook it straight up. I have a video on how to cook stockfish, and I'm gonna leave the link in the description box. You can check it out later. I just added onion, salt. The onion is gonna mask the pungent smell of the stockfish, and the stockfish is gonna taste better. This is how I used to cook my stockfish when I was in Nigeria. While it is cooking, I'm gonna move on to the dried fish. To clean the fish, just soak the fish in hot boiling water for about 10 to 20 minutes. Use a brush or an iron sponge to scrub it, rinse it, debone it as much as possible, and the fish is ready. Now that I'm done with the fish, this is a very good time to prep the leaves. So I'm using kale instead of ugu. When you are not living in Nigeria, it is very difficult to find fresh ugu leaves, pumpkin leaves. So I'm gonna be using kale because kale is a perfect substitute for ugu leaves. So I'm just gonna wash the leaves and cut them the way you would cut the ugu leaves. So if you are new to my channel or you are a returning viewer and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so that you can get an alert whenever I post a video. Like and share the video. Thank you and God bless you. You can also follow me on other social media platforms. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie to you, cutting off the leaves is the most tedious part of cooking this soup because you're gonna be cutting a lot of leaves. The soup is a very leafy soup, so you need a lot of vegetables to cook it. So the prepping of the leaves is really the hardest part of this soup. Some people even go as far as processing the water leaf, the way they process bitter leaf, to get rid of the water content because they don't want it to produce a lot of water during cooking. I've done it. It is really tedious. I don't like to do it that way anymore. And I also discovered that you don't have to process the water leaf that way to have a dry soup. So I'm gonna be using spinach instead of water leaf. Like I said earlier, we don't have water leaves here, and it is a good substitute. It produces a lot of water like water leaves. I like to freeze my spinach because it is very easy to break them into little pieces instead of slicing them, crunch on them like this, and you break them into little pieces and your work is done. Let me use this opportunity to send a very special shout out to all those that have subscribed. You guys are the best. I love you. Thank you and God bless you. As you can see, there's really no reason to slice the spinach. It is perfect. For the ratio of the leaves, it is advisable to use more spinach to kale because if you use more spinach, it's gonna be tastier than using more kale. It is time to start cooking because everything is ready. So let me go through the list of the ingredients. I'm going to be using croaker fish. You can use any fish of your choice. Then the dried fish, you already saw it. Dried shrimp, whole crayfish, ground crayfish, periwinkle, onions, palm oil, pepper, salt and seasoning cubes. So let's start cooking. I'm gonna start by cooking the croaker fish first. Add a little bit of water. We don't want a lot of water in this soup. Add the habanero pepper, some onion, some salt, and give it a quick stir. This is gonna ensure that every part of the fish is well seasoned. In order to build flavor, I'm gonna add the dried shrimp, the crayfish, the dried fish, and the stockfish. I'm gonna add the little stock from the stockfish. It's gonna help with the flavor because it is flavorful. I'm just gonna cover it and let everything cook together. So after 10 minutes, I'm gonna remove the croaker because it can break down easily. We don't want it to break down. But I'm going to reintroduce the fish back to the soup when the soup is almost done. After removing the croaker fish, I will continue to cook the other fish. As you can see, there's still some water in the pot. I will just try to break down the stockfish because it is too bulky. Stockfish is one fish that does not fall apart easily. You need to break it down yourself to the size that you want. I'm just gonna cover it to let it cook till the fluid is almost gone. After cooking it down for some minutes, I'm gonna remove the dried fish. The dried fish has softened and I don't want the fish to break down some more because this soup requires vigorous stirring. So anything that can break down easily, it is advisable to remove it. As you can see, there's hardly any fluid at the bottom. It is time to add the palm oil. Another important thing about cooking this soup is that it requires a lot of palm oil because you are not using any other fluid besides the oil. So you can use as much oil as possible and you can also use it in moderation. Like me, I'm using it in moderation. I'm just gonna let the oil cook for about 2 minutes, then add the onion, stir it, then add the pepper. Add pepper to your taste. I'm also gonna add the periwinkle at this time to give it enough time to cook. In case you don't know it, periwinkle is a seafood. I'm gonna be adding 2 seasoning cubes. It is very important to crush your seasoning cubes because if not, you're gonna see a big chunk at the end of the day. So I'm just stirring it to combine, then I'm gonna add the leaves. So I'm starting with the water leaf or spinach. I'm using spinach, so I'm starting with the spinach. Mix it together, it's gonna wilt down. Then I'm gonna add the kale or pumpkin leaves. So if you like what you see, please like and share the video. Thank you. I just noticed that I forgot to add the ground crayfish, so I'm adding it right now. Let me tell you a quick story. The first Edikang Ikong I ever ate was a pescatarian Edikang Ikong, and it was in Calabar. We visited the headquarters of the church we used to attend then in Calabar. I'm not going to mention the name. And they practice pescatarianism, and the food vendors by the gate have no choice but to cook most of their meals with seafood. I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted the traditional Edikang Ikong, but it was okay. After adding and mixing in the leaves, it is time to reintroduce the fish back into the soup. So I'm just gonna try to submerge the fish in the soup so that the fish can absorb the flavor of the soup, and it's just gonna take about 5 minutes and the soup is ready. This is also a good time to check for salt. Add salt as needed. 5 minutes later, the soup is ready. As you can see, the soup is so dry. You don't have to stir it vigorously because you don't want the croaker fish to break down. The soup is very delicious. If you have never tried it, give it a try. You're gonna be surprised. It's not only assorted meat, assorted fish is also delicious. And if you don't eat meat for religious or health or personal reason and you want to eat Edikang Ikong, why don't you give this recipe a try? I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You're gonna enjoy it. I also have another video on how to cook Edikang Ikong with assorted meat. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box. You can check it out later. Thank you guys for watching. Till I see you next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you. Bye.